Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Since it's October now and Halloween is right around the corner, I wanted to create this fun, kind of creepy look for you guys today. It's a little bit more gory and something a lot different than I've ever done on my channel before, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So just keep watching to see how I get this creepy eyeball infested look. So first things first, I just kind of went ahead and concealed some of my breakouts that I'm having at the moment because I know y'all don't really want to see that. So now we're going to jump right into the special effects part. I'm going to take the Ben Nye liquid latex. I'm super new to using this stuff, but it's super fun and gives you a really realistic look. So what I'm going to do is take it on a Q-tip and I'm going to start dabbing the first layer on the areas that I want to create the cuts to put the eyeballs inside of. So I'm just going to create a really thin layer to start off. And I'm going to concentrate most of the latex in the center of the cut area and kind of fade it out towards the edges so it blends into my skin a little bit better. And yeah, so just start off with a really thin layer for your first layer so it dries down really nicely and you can add more layers on top of it. At this point, I'm just kind of guesstimating where I want my cuts to be. You can kind of just do this by looking at your face and what surface areas you want to cover with the cuts and how gory you really want to get with it. So this is all just personal preference. And then I'm going to go ahead and let those layers dry. Be sure that you're always letting your layers dry before adding any more. Now I'm going to go ahead and add one more layer on top of one of my cut areas. And I'm going to take a piece of toilet paper and I'm going to rip it in half so I only get one ply of it. So it's super thin. You could use tissue paper also. And I'm just going to pat that on top of the liquid latex so that when we place more liquid latex on top of it, it gives it this kind of creepy wrinkled skin look. It kind of just makes the cut look a little bit more realistic and more like it's kind of deformed and actually cut skin. So I'm going to do this all over my areas. I'm going to add one more thin layer and add a little tiny piece of tissue over top of that. And then I'm going to cover up that tissue with more latex and just let that dry down until I add any more layers of liquid latex. So I feel like I could explain this in a million ways, but it's probably just best that you watch and see the process that I'm actually doing on my face. So I'll stop talking now and let you guys just observe. Friendly reminder to always let your layers dry before adding anything else. As you can see, they kind of turn a clearish like skin tone color once they're dry. As you can see on my forehead there, that's how you can tell that it's dried down. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Also, be sure that you're blending out the edges of the latex on top of the toilet paper, because if you're just piling it on top of the toilet paper, it's going to be super obvious that there's just a bunch of latex on your face. So I find that when you blend out the edges a little bit, it looks a little bit more realistic and like the cut is actually a part of your skin. So now that I'm sure that all of my layers of latex are dry, I'm going to go over top of all of that latex work we just did with some foundation. I'm using my Rihanna Fenty foundation. And I'm just going over top of all the areas and applying my foundation as usual all over my face to try and get these latex areas to blend into my skin a little bit better. Of course, you can still see the texture of the tissue paper and stuff, but that's what we want. And when we add the blood and stuff later, it'll be a little bit more gory looking and it'll just make sense in the end. So we'll get to that. So now what we're going to do is pick up a pair of tweezers and we're going to start picking at the latex areas to try and make a hole so we can create the look of the cuts. I know that this looks really disgusting, but I am picking at the latex and not my actual skin. So now I'm going to pick up some little tiny scissors and go into that hole that we created with tweezers, and I'm just going to begin enlarging that cut. I know that this looks super disgusting, but it'll look really cool in the end. So I'm just going to pull that apart with some tweezers, and as you can see, there's my regular skin on the inside, which is super weird looking. And I'm just going to make that cut to the right shape that I feel fit, and I'm just going to go around my face doing that same type of technique that we were doing by using the tweezer first to make a hole in the latex, and then going in with the scissors to create the actual cut. And I'm going to make it pretty long because I want there to be a significant amount of eyeballage in there and some blood and all that good jazz. So just kind of eyeball it, literally, and see what kind of cuts you want to create and what fits your face the best, and just kind of play around with it and get creative with it. I'm also going to go through and cut off some excess latex that I don't really need to expose a little bit more of the inside of the cut. So yeah, I'm just going to let you guys watch what I'm doing here, and I'll be back to talk to you soon. So now that we have all of our cuts done and exposed, we can go in to finish off the rest of our regular face makeup before we get into the actual blood. So I'm going to go ahead and add some bronzer to add some color to my face. I don't know if I'm doing this stuff in the right order because I don't really do special effects makeup, but I'm just kind of guessing that I should do my regular makeup next, so whatever. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some blush and some highlight drops because, you know, even though I have cuts all over my face, I still got a glow. I'm going to go ahead and add some ColourPop Flexitarian highlighter. If you guys are interested in anything at all that's being used in this makeup look, I'll have everything listed down below as always, so if this is going a little bit fast for you and you can't keep up with the products that I'm using, just know that everything is always down below for your convenience. So I'm just creating a super cute little fall look because I know y'all are going to be looking at my eyes instead of all the cuts and eyeballs all over my face. But, you know, gotta be fallish. I'm gonna add some lashes because we gotta be a glam cut up zombie girl. And I'm just going back and fixing up some of the cuts and being sure that they're exposing enough of the flesh area for when we add the blood. So now's the best part, is where we're gonna add the eyeballs. I got these off of Amazon. They took like a month to get here, which was super annoying. And I'm going to add some latex to the back of them, and I'm going to begin sticking them inside of those cuts that we made on our face. Super kind of creepy looking, but I also kind of really like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and fit those into my cuts that I made with the liquid latex. They actually stuck pretty well using that. So now I'm going to move on and use some Ben Nye Fresh Scab Wax. This stuff is kind of like jelly, but it kind of looks really realistic when you pick up some of the chunks of it and add some scabby blood parts to your look. I know that sounds super gross, but we want this to be semi-realistic. And I'm just going to kind of put this inside of the actual cut and put it on the flaps and everything so it looks like actual flesh and all that yummy stuff. Just keep adding that to the areas inside of the cuts and on the flaps so that we can give the illusion of real cuts and blood. So I'll just stop talking now and let you guys watch and observe what I'm doing. So I guess it wasn't gone that long, but now we're going to dip into the Ben Nye Stage Blood, which is zesty mint flavor, which is always good, I guess. And we're just going to start adding that into the cuts as well to add more of a bloody effect and make it look, again, a little bit more realistic. And I'm just going to add that into the cuts and kind of let it spread outside of the cuts a little bit to look like they're freshly cut and kind of bleeding. And then I'm going to pick up this sponge. I ordered it online and it's really good for giving you a nice spatter effect. I'll have it linked down below. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that Ben Nye blood on top of it and scatter it around those cuts. As you can see, I'm placing a little bit of the blood down and then using the sponge to blend it out. I'm also going to spread a little bit on my neck using that same sponge to give it a little bit more of a gory and creepy look, because, you know, the more blood the better around Halloween. And now, of course, this look would not be complete without some lovely red lipstick, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this one by MAC. I'll have the name of it listed down below because I can't remember at the moment. And with that final step done, I think that this look is complete. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. If there's any other Halloween looks you guys want to see me do, please don't be afraid to let me know down below. I'm always looking for suggestions. If you guys try this out, also please tag me on my Instagram and all that stuff. I would love to see any of your recreations. With that said, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!